Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor. Today we're going to look at some advanced properties of exponents questions. So before you watch this video, you gotta make sure that you're comfortable with the basic rules. That would be the multiplication rule. When you multiply things together, you add the exponents. When you divide, you subtract the exponents. So actually that's an important time to say whenever you have a negative exponent, you need to remember that that just goes in the denominator or the reciprocal, and that's like the positive power. And then the power raised to a power property, which is when you do multiplication. And as long as you know those 3 or 4 rules, you're going to be more or less fine for today. So let's look at some problems. Let's say in the numerator we have 24x to the 6th y to the 4th divided by 6x squared y. So the first thing I want to say is you need to break this up into different parts. In other words, we're going to do the number parts together, we're going to do the x parts together, and we're going to do the y parts together. Okay, so it's 3 different parts. First, 24 divided by 6, there's no exponents there. All you do is divide like normal. 24 divided by 6, that's 4. Then we do x to the 6th divided by x squared. That's the subtraction property. So that's just x to the 4th. And then y to the 4th divided by y. That's technically y to the 1st. So it's like you're doing y to the 4th minus y to the 1st. And so that's going to be y cubed. There we go. There's our answer for that one. Next one, let's say I have 2a squared times b cubed divided by 4b squared a cubed. So for this one, again, I'm grouping it into the like terms. You'll notice I got to be careful because the a and the b are flip-flopped here, but that's fine. We'll still group the a's and the b's together. So 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. A squared divided by a cubed, that's going to be a to the negative first power because of the subtraction property. And then b cubed divided by b squared, that's going to be b to the first. So if I want to write this properly, I would say the following. This 2 is in the denominator, this a is in the denominator because of the negative power, and the b to the first gets to stay in the numerator. In other words, b in the numerator, I'm not going to write to the 1 power because that's not necessary. And in the denominator is 2a to the first, which again, I don't have to write the first power, so I just write 2a, like that. And that's it for that one. Now let's take it up a notch. Let's say I have m to the 4th divided by m to the negative 7th, and all of that is raised to the 2nd power. So for this one, you first need to do the thing inside the parentheses. That's going to be m to the 4th divided by negative 7. So if you put m to the negative 3rd power, you are incorrect. And the reason why is because this is the 4 minus negative 7 power. The double negative does make it positive, so it's really m to the 11th. And then that is still squared. So whenever you do the power to the power property, you just multiply the exponents, m to the 22nd power, and that's the answer for that one. Now what if I have quantity 3 times k to the 0 times j to the negative 2nd, and all of that is cubed? Okay, this one's a little trickier. Whenever I have multiple things raised to a power, remember that you need to use that exponent on everything. In other words, I have 3 things here, 3, k to the 0, and j to the negative 2nd. I'm going to use it on everything. So first, 3 cubed, like this. It is not 9. You do not multiply 3 by 3. That is 3 to the 3rd power. You treat numbers differently than exponents. For the exponents, that's where we multiply the powers. So it's going to be k to the 0 times 3, which is still 0. And then j to the negative 2 times 3, that's negative 6. So each one of these are special in their own way. 3 cubed, you just need to know that, that's 27. K to the 0, anything to the 0 power is not 0, it's 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1, we need to know that. And j to the negative 6 is really 1 over j to the positive 6. So it looks like my final answer is numerator 27. I don't have to write times 1 because it's times 1. And then divided by j to the 6th. There's our answer for that one. Okay, let's keep going. This next one's going to be some multiplication. Let's say I have 2a squared b to the fifth divided by b times b squared a to the negative third divided by 5a squared. So first of all, what I can do is if I want to combine these two with multiplication, it's easy. I just multiply across. In other words, the numerator is now 2a squared b to the fifth b squared a to the negative third. And then in our denominator, we have b 5a squared. I just literally smush everything together. Now I got to worry about combining like terms. We'll start with the whole numbers. 2 and 5. Those don't go into each other very well, so I'm just going to write 2/5. That's all it's going to be. Then for the a's, I have a squared, a to the negative third, and a squared again. You can actually say that these a squareds cancel, and they do, by the way, because if you do subtraction, a to the 2 minus 2 is a to the 0, and anything to the 0 is 1, which means they canceled out. So all I'm left with is a to the negative third. That goes there. I'll write it in the denominator in the next step. And then finally for the b's, this is not b to the fifth, this is just b to the first. It looks like the 5 is there, but that's just a coefficient. So b to the fifth times b squared divided by b to the first. That's going to be b to the 5 plus 2 minus 1 power, which is really just b to the sixth. So it looks like my final answer is in the numerator, 2b to the sixth. I don't put the a in the numerator because the negative power makes it in the denominator. Also in the denominator is the 5. So 5a cubed. And there's our answer for that one. We'll just do a couple more today. For the next one, I have x cubed times the quantity x squared minus 2y squared. For this one, we're going to need the distributive property. In other words, you just multiply the two together. So the first term will be x cubed times x squared, which I'll reduce in the next step, and then minus 2x cubed y squared. X cubed times x squared, that's going to become x to the fifth, and then minus, that doesn't combine at all, so that's it. That's all you'd say for that one. Okay, next one. Let's say I have numerator 16x to the negative first divided by 8y cubed, and I'm going to raise this to the negative second power. So first we'll do the stuff inside the parentheses. 16 divided by 8 is 2 in my numerator. And I'm not going to reduce the negative first power yet because I'm about to raise it to another power. So let me do the multiplication property first. So first you raise the 2 to the negative second power. That looks like that. It's 2 to the negative second power. Then for the rest of these you're going to multiply the exponents. So x to the negative 1 times negative 2 power. That's positive 2. Divided by y to the 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. The x squared is the only thing that's good right now. A lot of people get confused by 2 to the negative second. A lot of people will say that's negative 4, but not at all. That's not true at all. A negative exponent never, ever means a negative number. A negative exponent simply means put it in the denominator, or as we see with the y term where it's already in the denominator, it's just going to go in the numerator. So in other words, that 2 to the negative second is really in the denominator as 2 to the positive second. In the numerator is still x squared, and now we're going to move that y to the sixth to the numerator as well, because again, negative power means flip it, essentially. If it's in the denominator, put it in the numerator. So final answer, numerator x squared y to the sixth divided by 4. There we go with that one. And now let's just look at one more. In the numerator, I have 3m squared n to the negative sixth divided by 9 n to the fourth m to the 0. All of this is raised to the negative third power. Let's see what this becomes. So again, first I do my thing inside of the parentheses. 3 divided by 9 is 1/3 with the 3 in the denominator. M squared over m0, that's like 2 minus 0 power, so still m squared. And then n to the negative sixth minus n to the fourth, so that's like n to the negative 10th. And as always, you need to be really careful with this subtraction. Then all of this is raised to the negative third power, so that's going to become 1/3 to the negative third power times m to the negative 6th power because of the multiplication, and then n to the positive 30 power. Looks like n to the 30 is the only thing that's good. 1/3 to the negative third. Remember, that negative exponent means it's the reciprocal. You flip it. The 3's in the denominator right now, so that means negative exponent puts it back in the numerator as 3 cubed. M I don't like because it's negative power, so I put it in the denominator as m to the positive 6, and then n to the 30. And then the only thing you have to do now is say 3 cubed, that's 27, which you should know. And then there's our answer. Okay, so that was some fun problems. Hopefully you're better now than you were 10 minutes ago. And of course, if you do have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.